All right, so the Oklahoma Sooners, they played a football game on a Friday night. So I am proud of Sooner Nation for showing up to that one. The stadium was a lot more full than I thought it would be. But to quote Daddy Stutzman, Papa Top over there on Twitter, the defense is as advertised. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you've got to be excited here. So today, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about how the defense is shocking college football yesterday. But we're also going to talk about the offense and the offensive line because I know you guys have a lot of concerns there, but I want to tell you that it might not be exactly what you think. And I'm going to tell you why you should wait at least a couple weeks before you cast judgment on Seth Luttrell's play. Well, Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley's play calling, and then the offensive line as well. Before we dive into it, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys join the discussion. Jump down in the comments below. Give me your thoughts. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe button. We didn't get 13,000 subs before the start of the season. You guys made a pretty good push. But you know what? Maybe we can get to 13,000 by week 2. So here's the deal, guys. The offense yesterday, I understand your frustrations because I'm not going to lie. I sat there a little frustrated too. However, I heard some overreactions around people that were sitting around me, and I just don't think the overreactions are warranted here. Remember, it's Temple, right? And I think we saw this, and I was talking about this in the Discord last night, but I said, if you all remember when Jeff Lebby, he was here in their first year, they only beat UTEP 44-13. Then they went to Kent State and only beat them like 34-3. And a lot of people had a lot of questions around the offense, but then they started to explode before Dillon Gabriel got hurt. And what I want people to understand about that is, especially when you have a new offensive coordinator, you don't want to show your hand in the first game against a bad team, right? And if you're playing Georgia, completely different story. You playing Temple, you're going to be vanilla. Now, I get it. For those of you who watch a certain radio station last night, and they like to make fun of people, call them yardbirds, things like that. And they tried to tell you the offense wasn't vanilla. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have zero idea. Just because Oklahoma runs a reverse, just because Oklahoma had Jackson Arnold punt the ball, that doesn't mean Oklahoma was not running a vanilla offense. Did you all see some of the routes that were being ran and who they were throwing to? Because I want to point this out here. Andrel Anthony only had 1 catch. Deion Burks had 6 catches. 3 of those were in the end zone. I guarantee you, if Deion Burks and Andrel Anthony would have each gotten about 7 to 10 receptions, Oklahoma probably wins this game 73-3 or 80-3, right? They score a lot of points at that point. Instead, they tested out other players, tried to see what they had. Bauer Sharp, 5 receptions, did his thing as a tight end. Love that for Oklahoma, utilizing the tight end. We need them to do that this year. Joe John Finley being a tight ends coach, he's going to want to do that a little more. He had 5 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. Then you look at Brennan Thompson, 4 receptions, 15 yards. Zion Ragens, 1 reception, 7 yards. Ivan Carrion, 1 reception, 2 yards. You saw Jaquez Petaway get thrown the ball to. Zion Kearney got targets, right? If you're an Oklahoma fan, you know that when they roll out against Houston, they roll out against Tulane. If they get the ball to their playmakers and Deion Burks and Andrel Anthony, they're going to score more points. The offense is going to be more explosive. They're going to have explosive plays. So don't listen to certain radio hosts that try to tell you that this offense is got problems. We need to reserve that judgment till after the Tulane game, when at that point the playbook should be a little more opened up and you have an idea of really who's going to be a targeted wide receiver for, Jackson Arnold outside of Andrel Anthony and Burks. Now, I will say J.J. Hester did not live up to the hype that we had been talking about, right? And Jay made a good point. He hasn't played in like 2 years, right? He's shaken off a lot of game time rust. So you expect over the next couple of weeks, J.J. Hester will get into his groove. I expect a guy like Zion Kearney or a Jaquez Petaway to take a step up, be a guy that can, well, and especially Pettaway playing the slot. So, because if y'all didn't realize or didn't hear, Jalil Farooq, he broke his foot in that game. Brent Venables announced that towards the end of the press conference. So Jalil Farooq will be out 6 to 8 weeks. So Jaquez Pettaway, I think, is going to have a good chance to slide into the slot and have an opportunity to make a name for himself. Hit the field a couple times. Same for Kearney. Now, and both of them, by the way, elite speed. Now, a lot of people had quarrels with the offensive line. And I'm not here to make excuses. The offensive line did not look good, right? Not making excuses here. Josh McCuistion put it best on Twitter yesterday. There were times when Tarquin and Spencer Brown were getting beat to dudes that looked like running backs out there. And that just ain't what you want. Now, I will say this. Spencer Brown probably will not be a starting right tackle for you. He probably will not be a full-time right tackle for you if you're the University of Oklahoma. It sounds like Jake Taylor will be back next week from what Brent Venables said in his press conference last night. Meaning, we are one step closer to that offensive line of Jake Taylor, Fabichi Wewu, Branson Hickman will be back, but for now it's going to be like a Troy Everett, a Gary Hatchett, or a Josh Bates. Then you'll have Hito Zaida or Hatchett at the left guard, or Sexton, and then you'll have Tarquin or Sexton at left tackle. This offensive line is going to be fine. I ask you to give it time. Remember, Bill Bedenbaugh didn't realize what he had in Caden Green until Texas. You need to get these guys in games, get them some experience, and get them battle tested away from your own team. See what they're made of. So although I'm not going to make excuses and say, well, this just was going against them. Like, they have no chemistry. No. There's no reason for them to be getting beat by some of the players they got beat by. Because Jackson Arnold's ass had a ton of pressure on him all night long. Shouldn't have been that way. What I will say is reserve all of the super harsh criticism on the offensive line until after week 3, till we see a little bit more. Because, the other thing is I saw a lot of good things out of EPL. I think you did too. I think EPL might have a chance to hit the field a little bit. Going away from the offensive line, go to the rushing game. I know a lot of people were not satisfied with the 220 rushing yards that Oklahoma had yesterday. I felt like, again, Oklahoma, just like we were talking about with Jay and Coop last night when we were texting back and forth, they were really testing out some things on offense, and they tested out a lot of running backs yesterday. Taylor Tatum, Sam Franklin, Javante Barnes, Gavin Sawchuk. Man, let me tell you, this running back room is going to be really deep for Oklahoma. Kind of upset we didn't see Caleb Hicks. You guys know how high I've been on Caleb Hicks, but Oklahoma's rushing game I thought was fantastic yesterday. And I think you'll solidify running back 1 and running back 2. But honestly, guys, Taylor Tatum there might be days where they're getting the most snaps in that running back room. He had 5 carries for 69 yards yesterday for a 13.8 average and 1 touchdown. Taylor Tatum looked like I think Coop put it as DeMarco Murray, right? Like Taylor Tatum is he's something different. Then you go to the quarterback, right? Jackson Arnold, 17 to 25, 141 yards, 4 touchdowns, only a 5.6 yard average. I don't think there's anything to freak out about with Jackson Arnold. Jay put it perfectly earlier, which was they wanted him to do different things. Like, we all know Jackson Arnold can throw a deep pass. Like, we saw him do that with Farooq. Like, beautiful ball while he was getting hit. Like, if you're Oklahoma, like, Jackson Arnold can throw the deep ball. You wanted to see him throw under pressure into the middle of the field, how he could read coverage. And he did pretty well last night. And I think over the next couple weeks, Jackson Arnold is going to start hitting the 300 to 400 pass yards. Because I think you're going to start to see the utilization of Burks, Andrel Anthony, and other wide receivers taking a step up in practice and getting those opportunities in games. So as far as Jackson Arnold goes, I'm not worried about it. Hawkins got in the game. Man, he had a couple really good runs. One of them got called back. He only had 17 yards on the passing game, 2 of 4. But, man, Hawkins at the future quarterback position for Oklahoma, that's going to be exciting. That's exciting. So, overall, offense, you'd probably give them a C- if you're Oklahoma. And you might be hearing this and going, well, how in the world did Oklahoma win 51-3? Well, it's because the defense kind of shocked college football. And as Danny Stutzman's dad put it last night on Twitter, the defense is as advertised. Danny Stutzman was your leading tackler last night with 6 total tackles. But let me tell you, Grayson Halton might have been the defensive player of the game. 3 total tackles, 2 solos, 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for loss. G-Baby was living in the backfield. And, this defensive line for Oklahoma, I think everybody on there can play. You saw at the end of the game, Marcus Strong had 2 sacks, right? You did see that. You did see our Mason Thomas on the edge, wreaking havoc in the backfield. He had 1 tackle for loss. 4 fumbles in this game. And normally you look at the fumbles and say, oh, well, that's kind of a lucky stat for a team. It was not luck for this defense last night. They were punching the ball out. They were getting aggressive. They even got a touchdown off of it on special teams. Jaren Kanak gets it into the end zone. Love that for him. Oklahoma starting the season on defense +6 in turnover margin. +6. And this is the thing that I think you as an Oklahoma fan should be excited about with the defense. Your offense did not play well last night, regardless of how you want to look at it, whether it was because they were vanilla, they weren't doing a whole lot, or if it was just because they didn't play well. And the defense kept you in the game, and kept you in the game so well, you were able to blow out Temple 51-3. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you have to feel optimistic. This is what you have wanted in a defense. You have wanted a defense that can start the game and end the game as dominant as possible. And not everybody played on the defense. Woody Washington didn't play. Gentry Williams didn't start. Didn't play that much. You saw a lot of young guys out there tonight. If we go down to who got picks tonight, Jaden Hardy, a true freshman. Interesting fact here. He started his career at Louisville High School with an interception. And then he started his college football career with an interception. That boy gonna be good. Kanai Walker had a hilarious interception, especially after old Kendall Dolby over there thought, just banging his helmet to the ground, upset he didn't get the pick. Didn't even know we got the pick, it looked like. And then, of course, Billy Bowman almost had the play of the year, or early play of the year, with that athletic interception that some people thought was an interception, just maybe he didn't get the elbow down. But if you're Oklahoma, maybe the bright spot for you is special teams. While I'm taking a drink here, this might be a good time for you guys to like and subscribe or hit the follow button on podcast platforms. Maybe the bright spot for you is special teams. They created a turnover. Tyler Keldner was 3 of 3 from the field goals. Longest was 50. 6 of 6 on the extra points. Tyler Keldner, are you all entertained? Because Tyler Keldner, kicking has been Oklahoma's bane of existence over the past couple seasons. And you gave Oklahoma a little bit of hope last night when you hit that 50-yard field goal. And then you hit 2 more, and you made the fan base feel a little bit better. So, as an Oklahoma fan, you should feel good about last night. 51-3 win over a bad team. You covered the spread, which was 42.5. And by the way, another thing a lot of people are missing. Vegas had the over-under on this game at 59.5. And the spread was 42.5. Meaning they were giving Temple around 16 to 17 points. That's what they were giving Temple. So not only did you go out there and cover the game, you almost hit the damn over-under, and you held the Temple offense to only 3 points. It's pretty good to me. So, guys, if you guys have made it this far and you guys have not already, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. These recaps, they'll be a little longer as we get to better opponents throughout the season. But we got Houston coming up on Saturday. Want to see the fans out there tailgating, 6:45 kick. Thank you to everybody who came up introduced themselves during the game yesterday, made Coop, myself, and Jay feel very welcomed to Sooner Nation. Guys, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, join the discussion.